My name is Lieutenant Commander Rudy Mason, and it is my pleasure to present to you an executive summary of my team's Naval Postgraduate School thesis project. Currently, the Navy's long-range construction plan calls for 355 ships to be built by 2034. Effectively, this plan requires an average of 10 ships to be produced and delivered annually. To meet this goal of 355 ships, this requires the Navy and the shipbuilding industry to work together to produce more naval assets in the next 15 years than has been produced in the last 30 years. Our goal in this research project was to assess the capacity of two major shipbuilders using a mixed index approach that would ascertain the feasibility of the Navy's published plan. Additionally, we would inquire as to what extent does design complexity of our ships and submarines have on their producibility. Also, to what effect have rates of learning influenced the Navy's plan? Key findings. Our mixed index approach controlled for each ship design by applying an industry complexity conversion factor reflective of the level of effort and infrastructure needed to produce each ship design, and then the rate of production efficiency as associated with Bath Iron Works and Ingalls shipbuilders. From our models, we found evidence to suggest a negative influence on the rate of learning due to the congestion effect associated with parallel production activities. Most significantly, we found that when the same shipyard produces more than one ship design, rates of production decreased across the board. This was even inclusive of designs in which the builder had already established a process for production. This was the case for Bath Iron Works in the production of DDG-51 and DDG-1000, as well as Ingalls shipbuilders in their concurrent production across the board. Also, using our approach, we found that both Bath Iron Works and Ingalls shipbuilders had similar utilization rates of approximately 81%. However, this doesn't mean that they had 19% remaining. Given their enormous supply chain complexities, unachieved rates of learning, and the lack of mature and often complex designs, based on the data, we concluded that these two shipbuilders were operating at full effective production capacity, which substantially reduces the probability of them being able to achieve the Navy's plan of 355 ships by 2034. So, to correct these issues, our first recommendation was to build all ship classes in at least two geographically separate locations. Today, this is done with the Arleigh DDG-51 design and Virginia-class submarines. Unfortunately, all other ship classes are built in one location each, which significantly limits their production capacity and places a strategic risk on the production of these ships from a national security perspective. Our second recommendation was to allow for the manufacturing of ships and submarines to occur in various manufacturing sites in modules. You might have several locations, as an example, you might have several locations that builds a module, and each module is then assembled in a final location. Similar to what we do with the new construction Virginia-class subs between Electric Boat and Newport News. However, by doing so on a large scale, the Navy would achieve increased rates of learning and a dramatic increase in capacity. Our third recommendation is to apply a low-road, high-road complexity principle that was created by Richard Danzig, who was the Secretary of the Navy under President Bill Clinton. His concept of low road was to allow for a proven ship design to be static while the internals, weapons, engineering, and radar systems will be upgraded in a modular type fashion within a mature ship design. Under this recommendation, each ship production design will last upwards of 50 years, which will allow for increased rates of learning and production efficiencies to occur during production, which was reflected in our model's output. Another recommendation was to consolidate ship designs. Currently, we have different designs in the same location, in the same ship class, with similar mission capabilities. As example, if you look at just surface combatants for the Navy, we have LCS, FFGX, two types of DDGs, and CGs. If we were to we were to reduce the number of designs in each class, this would reduce the variability in the production process and increase our production capacity. By applying any of these principles, we anticipate that the shipbuilding industry will increase the probability of meeting the Navy's 355 ship goal. Thank you.